Miss Phyllis Smith. Secretary of the Board, Mr. Vance Miller. Trustees, Dr. Judy Selmer and Dr. Julie Bear. Also joining them, the Executive Vice President, Dr. Diane Skitham. Leading Instruction, Dr. Paula Norby. Dean of Student Services, Anna Masterson. And our commencement speaker, United States Air Force Technical Sergeant Audrey Cornejo. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of guests from MCC's transfer partners who are seated over in this group over to the side. From Arizona State, Ashford University.
Good afternoon, MCC graduates. I have always hated writing for other people, whether that was in an English class, performance reports at my job, or even speeches. So I decided to approach this like a letter to you two, because I never minded journaling my thoughts or writing a note to someone. Besides, I'm not being graded today for a class, interviewed for a job, or summarizing anyone's career. Today, I get to talk to you, get to share some of my life stories, and hopefully offer you some words of encouragement and motivation. I mean, what's the worst that could happen anyway? None of you like me or finds me interesting, so you sit there and secretly judge my inadequacies and don't come visit me in Louisiana? I guess I can live with that. I am honored to be here today. What a privilege for someone to recognize the significance of my life's achievements and ask me to share them with you today. Now, you may be asking yourselves the same things I did when Dr. Kearns asked me to be the guest speaker. Why me? Well, it comes down to this, I guess. I did start my education at MCC, the Lake Havasu campus, and now I serve our country in the Air Force. Have I done anything that any one of you cannot do? No, you can do anything you put your mind to and follow through with commitment. Now personally, I dispose of bombs for a living, which some of you may think I'm crazy for doing, or at least crazy, right? But who defines weird? What is crazy? Is running barefoot in the yard crazy? Is mac and cheese pizza or seafood cheesecake weird? Well, I'm from a small town, Lake Havasu, if any of you have heard of it. I was homeschooled along with my 10 brothers and sisters. So weird is something I was probably born into. And crazy is what my husband claims that I am. So how did I end up where I am today? 7 years from retirement, with a wonderful husband, 2 amazing children, all my limbs, a disclaimer because of my job, and speaking to you, the Mojave Community College graduating class of 2016. Well, I didn't plan it this way, that's for sure. But I don't regret it either. I mean, really, how often have you thought about what you would do after college? Or where you would be in 5 years? How about 15? Have you thought about where you would be in 50 years? My suggestion to you, make plans, but don't limit yourself to what you see in front of you today. It's okay to live in the moment, but don't neglect tomorrow. Life is crazy and has more than you can plan for now. I made overall goals. I've wanted to retire since I was 16, and I've taken advantage of the opportunities along the way. You are all here accomplishing the same goal, graduation. But where did you start? What path brought you here today? Did you start at MCC in high school? Did you go back to college after finishing or retiring from your first job? As I said, I was homeschooled, and that gave me the flexibility to further my education early and start classes at MCC before graduation. The decision to take college classes was a big benefit to me. My Air Force recruiter was able to put college student on my application without worrying if they would accept my homeschool diploma or requiring me to get a GED. MCC credits also helped me earn an early promotion and dropped me within a couple of classes of completing my Air Force Associate's degree in Explosive Ordnance Disposal. But after several years at MCC, without focusing on a degree, I decided to get out of my small town and try bigger and better things. I didn't plan on joining the Air Force, but if you ask my dad, I didn't really plan at all. So when I moved out of Lake Havasu to see the world, I made it all the way to Phoenix. Then I had an apartment, I had a car, friends to hang out with, and no source of income to fund this. My best friends suggested we join the Air Force, so I looked at that as an option. I took that route to pay for the bills. She did not. I left MCC in 2002 and finally earned my associate's degree in 2008. It wasn't until last June that I finally earned my bachelor's in applied linguistics. But life happens. Times get tough, and college is not always the first on the priority list. Now, since each one of you is here today, it shows a certain amount of commitment. I'm sure each one of you has faced challenges to completing your degree. I personally was away from my only son at the time, from the time he was 8 months to 15 months. I've been blown up, more to come on that later, and had my marriage stressed. Without commitment, you will turn back when times get tough and not push through to the silver lining. You will never discover the greater things in life. If you leave roots in the path back will often be easier than the path forward. And as we know, we take the path of least resistance. So, what is commitment? I heard a father explain it to his son this way over bacon and eggs. The chicken contributed to breakfast. The pig committed. Another example is in 1519, when Hernan Cortez ordered his 600 men to burn the boats. Cortez left his men only two choices: die or conquer Mexico for all the Aztec jewels. Alexander the Great made a similar demand of his men some 1,000 years earlier when he commanded his men to burn the boats on the Persian shores. Now, a wise man once said, "Live today as if it could be your last day, but plan to live until you're 100. So let me tell you the story I promised about literally getting blown up. It all started back in my Air Force recruiter's office when he gave me some job options. Hospital equipment repair sounded boring, but the video on explosive ordnance disposal showed blowing things up. So that's what I signed up for. Lo and behold, the Air Force sent me to Afghanistan in 2010 to help defeat the threat of terrorism and promote well-being in the country. Since my job is to disarm bombs, there was a high demand for my expertise, with dirt roads that were littered with improvised explosive devices, often referred to as roadside bombs or IEDs. Most days on the road, there would be one IED that the convoy missed until a vehicle ran over it. On one particular day in August, that vehicle happened to be the one that I was in. Just before that happened, though, I couldn't stop thinking that it was a good time for a break, since I really had to relieve myself. But then all of a sudden, the back got dark. I thought it was sleeping, and I didn't know where all the smoke was coming from. Not long into my confusion, I heard over the radio, EOD's been hit, which meant that an IED had blown up my vehicle. Things after that made a lot more sense. I wouldn't say they got better, but it explained a lot. When I was finally rescued from the back of the vehicle, and now other people could see me, I had to do a double check to make sure I had not peed my pants. Now, Adam Sandler in the movie Billy Madison may have said only cool people pee their pants, but I was not convinced. Turns out at the time I had great bladder control. I would not be so quick to make that statement now after having 2 kids. That day, I truly learned what could happen given my chosen profession. But the satisfaction that I get knowing the other IEDs I have and will disarm to keep others out of the same situation is worth my commitment. Plus, to be perfectly honest, there's nothing quite as exciting as blowing 18 tons of high explosives and capturing munitions. Just one of the benefits of being on the Air Force bomb squad. So what excites you? A day off work? Jet skiing on the lake? Hiking Sarah's Crack? Whatever it is, think of this. Something even better is yet to come. But be prepared to commit. In my profession, it's not just practice that makes perfect, but in the words of Vince Lombardi, passed on to me by my dad, perfect practice makes perfect. Now, movie quotes are not always the best way to guide your life's choices, but consider the words from Kung Fu Panda and Master Oogway. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. So what does this mean? Well, the past got you here. Think about how much you have learned to focus in order to get you here today. Enjoy this moment of you, where you are the star. Look forward and believe that you will get better at that focus, and you will begin to aim higher in life than just to make it through MCC. Now, Mother Teresa is a good source of living by your convictions and committing to a cause. A variation of Kent Keith's paradoxical commandments was written on the wall in Mother Teresa's home for children in Calcutta. I'd like to share them with you today. People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it was between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. And so as I reflect on how to end this commencement address, my only public speaking engagement, I leave you with these thoughts. Burn your boats and make the bacon. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Learn from the past, don't live there. Live life in the present and commit to your choices. Expect that great things are just around tomorrow's corners. And remember, when God gave the promise in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future. It came after Jeremiah 29:10 and 70 years of captivity. To the faculty, staff, and administration of Mojave Community College, thank you for the invitation and these moments on stage. And to you, the MCC graduating class of 2016, be proud of your achievements. Be humble in your manner. Be successful in your future. Aim high.
On behalf of the administration, board governors, faculty, and staff of Mojave Community College, I'd like to present you with this gift as a memento of your presentation here today. We thank you very much for your sparkling words.
Those inspiring inspiring words, Audrey. And now for the presentation of graduates, Dean of Instruction, Dr. Paula Norby.